So we're back with part two. So to punish her for her crimes, they they keep her at this daily psychological thing, this facility, which is called White Bear Justice Park after a white teddy bear that Jemima owned. So they made this fucking place, and they started this whole thing based off of this one murder, which is kind of fucked up if you think about it. And yeah, so that's her punishment for the rest of her life, I'm assuming. So Victoria is driven back to the compound past an outraged crowd and returned to where she awoke. As she is shown her own videotaped footage of Jemima prior to her murder, Baxter places electrodes on her head, simultaneously torturing her and wiping her memory of the day's events so that she will live the same day repeatedly as part of her punishment. Interspersed between the end credits, the next day's events are seen from the point of view of the park staff and its visitors who play the voyeurs. So yeah, it's kind of like a POV to see what those people see every day. So kind of getting into what people thought of the movie, there's a lot to say about this. This is a pretty popular episode in the series, so don't mind me if I take a little long on this. Pretty good episode. This is one of probably the best episodes of the series, at least up to this point. It had an 88%, 17 reviews, 8.2 out of 10. White Bear makes up for its blunt social criticism with its intense scare factor and final twist. It is probably one of the best episodes among the first few because its theme was presented in a chilling manner. It has an ability to truly disturb and has put off many a viewer as spinning on a cheap twist, but despite the fact that the episode's impact does turn on a reveal, there's little in the episode that even feels remotely done before. I don't think I've seen a show like this before. It's the most successful horror episode of the series to date. It begins a dystopian horror reminiscent of 28 Days Later, but where it ends up is far more disturbing. Its plot twist was great. Most would rank this episode pretty high. I mean, I just happen to like the rest of the episodes better, is what one of the reviewers said. It may be one of the best hours of TV produced of that year in 2013. That's what a lot of people are saying as well. It transits from John Wyndham stuff to horror and then action. Its final twist was great. The last 13 minutes of White Bear are amongst the most blisteringly angry pieces of television I have ever seen. The people, almost maniacally making fun and videotaping, playing this character. Deep down they're pissed off at her for doing this shit, but they laugh at her the entire time. It's fucking crazy. It's one of the most shocking twists on Black Mirror. Obviously, the show is kind of known for that. It is the most outright disturbing episode so far. It's the single darkest episode of Black Mirror so far. Its twist is nothing short of genius. It is, by a significant margin, the most disturbing episode. The twist is a smart one, brilliantly concealed and smartly revealed. Once the point is made, it is made over and over again. That is the main thing. Its fearsome pace is great. Its subtle approach is awesome. With the sparse dialogue, it gives the events and performances greater impact. There's not a lot of talking here. It's a lot of action. Its horror-infused drama leaves us unsure whom we can trust or what will happen next, and its last act is truly gut-wrenching. The twist was unpredictable. The episode was an exciting and efficient piece of narrative rug-pulling. Tuppence Middleton was great in this as, I can't remember her character, Jim or something like that. Yeah, Tuppence Middleton was great. Critchlow's role was kind of repetitive. The main character, she just wailed. It's a harrowing performance with no arc or resolution, just sheer fear and distress. Maybe that's kind of the point, though. If there's a criticism to be leveled at the first two-thirds of White Bear, it's that Victoria's carried helplessness along by events. Sorry, Critchlow's potential was wasted because of the script. She wasn't given enough body language or anything to go with it. She was just kind of screaming when she found out that she was being tortured this whole time and that she was going to get her memory kind of wiped away. I don't like the fact Victoria maintains one emotional level across the episode. She's tearful, panicked, and terrified throughout. But it's not really the actress's fault. Middleton and Smiley were uniformly excellent, though. Critchlow's Critchlow definitely committed to her performance, and for what she got with her script, I think she did a wonderful job. Her performance is one of the episode's greatest accomplishments. How much it makes audience members feel as though they're in the position of Victoria, and how kind of like uncomfortable you get as you watch the episode. She gave a tour de force performance that is an excellent, convincing portrayal of a frightened, confused woman. I mean, she really got the point across with that, you know. White Bear kind of lacked the instant emotional tug of this, of like something like the series opener, or even like the game episode, like the game show episode. A third of the way through the episode, you kind of lose hope that it would conclude effectively, but the acting was unbelievable. The script was riddled with horror film cliches. The violence was a bit over the top, but by the end, you get kind of surprised. You know, you're kind of watching this episode and you're kind of getting confused throughout, and then the end kind of surprises you. It's stylistically breathtaking with intense action. You know, the themes come across as particularly flat and not super original. I mean, the way they portray the themes is definitely original. You know, until the twist, the episode is kind of iffy. I will say that. Brooker has crafted an hour of television more bold and daring than I've seen in probably ever on this YouTube channel, at least. This is Black Mirror's full-blooded horror. It never gets boring. You know, the characters are okay. The final sequence is a little overlong and obvious. They kind of carry that on a lot, and they kind of make that like the personality of the episode, which is fine. It's a good social critique. It's least effective when it goes for horror. It's like a low budget, low quality version of 28 Days Later, full of horror movie cliches. But that was kind of the whole point. You know, Black Mirror's not really a big flagship TV program. It's not really the point. You know, its societal criticism was great. So the reason it all felt like a rubbish horror movie for 45 minutes is because that's what it was, just with a real person in the center of it. Its message is lost beneath a simplistic twist that pulls a switcheroo, and it fails to do much else. Yeah, I mean, the twist, it's just the twist. That's the only problem with this episode, is they kind of put the twist in your face, and you're like, oh, there you go, there's the twist. But it's a good twist. That's the thing. Yeah, the episode could have a little bit more content to it, but again, it's barely 45 minutes of TV. It isn't even that. It's barely 40 minutes of TV. And they kind of did have to kind of squeeze, they did kind of have to squeeze some shit in there, you know? That's kind of the nature of this show. It's short stories that are supposed to leave a shocking impact at the end. I feel like that's kind of like the MO of Black Mirror. So, I'm out, guys. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. There's a lot of polarizing things with this episode. This is one of the most talked about